Ginny D here, and if you are new to my channel, I am a cosplayer, singer, and professional geek person. Check out my other videos for cosplay tutorials, parody and cover music videos, comedy shorts, and other miscellaneous videos of me talking about stuff. There's not really a theme. Anyway, today's video has been much requested, which shocks me because I spent so many years as a teenager trying so hard to get people to care about my OCs. And nobody ever did, because that's what it's like having OCs when you're 15. So when I started playing D&D and people kept asking me about my character, I was very surprised. But also totally willing to just spend an entire video talking about her because I love her. Before we get into this video is sponsored by 1985 Games and their book, Dungeon Craft. So big thanks to them for making this possible. I just need to rave about this book for a second because I genuinely think it is an incredible resource for D&D groups. It's a book of over 1,000 1-inch gridded map pieces that you can cut out and just place on your table or your gaming mat to create maps. Each piece is dry and wet erase compatible, and they're fully reversible. So if you want your summer tree to be a winter tree, just flip it. If you want your tent to be on fire, you can do that. The book comes in a box where you can store the pieces once you've cut them out. And the best part is it's only $30, so if you've ever looked at the price tag on those incredible hand-painted 3-dimensional terrain pieces and wanted to die, don't worry, you've so much to live for. Okay, back to it. First, some context for my game. I've only been playing D&D for a little over a year now. I had tried it before, but never really with the right people, so I never got into it. It wasn't until I started watching Critical Role that I started to feel like I really understood why people play D&D and what kind of game I would enjoy playing. I've spent that whole year plus playing with the same group, some good friends, including Blake, who does all of the instrumentation for my music and all of my studio recording, and Lee, our DM, who has his own YouTube channel where he offers super helpful DM advice. I will link his channel in the description in case you want to check it out. However, I have not spent that year playing the character that I'm going to introduce to you today. I started off playing a homebrew steampunk robot monk named Petra, and there was a lot that I liked about playing her. It was fun to say snarky things to people in what was basically a grocery store self-checkout recording voice, and she was really good at punching. But I realized after a while that I didn't love her the way that some people seem to love their D&D characters. And after some thinking, I figured out that it was because I had created a character that was interesting to observe, not necessarily fun for me to play. I wrote her the way that I would write the protagonist of a novel. What I really wanted, and what a lot of people go to D&D for, is wish fulfillment, basically. I wanted to play a beautiful elf with plants growing right out of her and cool magical powers. I wanted to play the kind of character that I wanted to draw, the kind of character that I wanted to cosplay. And the group I'm playing with would absolutely never be the kind of people to make fun of me for playing a character that made me feel excited and happy, even if it was cliche. It's a game, we play it to have fun. When I told my DM about this, he was totally game to help me write off Petra and introduce a new character. Thus, Aisling was born. Time for some dramatic backstory. The widow Roisin was the matriarch of her clan, which slowly dwindled, leaving her old and alone. She took in Aisling, whose mother died birthing her, in hopes that she would take on the role of matriarch someday and rebuild the clan. They lived at the edges of elf society. Roisin was rumored to wield dark powers, and Aisling grew up beneath the weight of that, the other elf children whispering witch daughter when she passed. She didn't know at first that not everyone saw visions of an otherworldly creature with long, tangled hair and flowers sprouting from her eyes and a mouth full of soil. She called her Uir, after the earth. She didn't see the creature often, and each time she appeared, Aisling was afraid. But when the widow Roisin died, the woman Uir appeared once again to Aisling and offered her a choice. Stay, rebuild Roisin's dead clan, inherit her responsibility and her isolation, or make a pact. Become the powerful witch everyone had always feared she was. Reject the restrictions of elf society, forge her own path with her own powers. For Aisling, the choice was clear. Uir gave her a companion, Nightshade, and uncanny abilities, weak at first, but more powerful as she practiced. Aisling's fearful reputation grew up around her like a bramble as she trained, and waited to carry out her patron's will. Then, the woman Uir sent her a prophecy. A rot. A pale, swollen blight, sickly, that would consume the world. It cannot change, Uir told her. My gift is the knowledge of the story's end. This Aisling refused to accept. She gathered a band of reavers, the handful of odd, outcast Elva who would join her, to seek out the source of the rot and stop it. But with each further clue they uncovered, Aisling began to realize she had led her companions against something much darker and larger than she had fully understood. One by one, her companions fell to the dangers of their hunt, until at last, only Aisling remained. Even she would have been lost had it not been for the band of strangers who rescued her. Now, plagued by guilt and regret, reevaluating her path, she's joined their party in hopes of either recruiting them to her cause, or at least not facing the end of the world alone. Wow! So dramatic. Aisling is an elf warlock, pact of the chain with an archfey patron. She's currently level 5. I'll put some of her stats on the screen for people who like to see that kind of stuff, but I'm not a min-maxer or anything, so please don't critique my character build. I'm not gunning for the most efficient warlock award. Her familiar is a pseudo-dragon named Nightshade. She's nocturnal, so she spends most of her time during the day sleeping curled up around Aisling's neck, and if Aisling has to wake her up, she gets super grumpy about it. When Aisling made her pact, her newfound connection with the woman of the soil made her hair start changing colors with the seasons, like the leaves of a tree, and flowers and foliage started growing in it. I want to cosplay Aisling, so I commissioned my friend Kelsey, known online as TOUGHTINK, to help me conceptualize her clothing. She worked with me to put together a sort of a mood board and then created a bunch of thumbnail sketches that I could work from for costuming. I want this to be less make a costume and more make a collection of garments that Aisling would own that can be worn in different combinations. So you can expect to see this design expanded on and developed over the long term. I love Aisling a lot, and I hope that some of you guys will grow to love her too. I would absolutely love to do more videos about her and just about D&D in general, so please let me know what kind of D&D related content you would like to see from me. And of course, I'm not just a player, I also recently started DMing my own game, which is why I am super pumped about how much more immersive my maps are going to be thanks to Dungeon Craft, which makes it super easy for me to have beautiful, detailed maps that don't require pretty much any prep on my part, because God knows DMing takes enough prep without even touching on maps and terrain. They also have a brand new book called Hell or High Water, which has terrain that's great for seafaring and hellish modules like Ghosts of Saltmarsh or Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus.
Maybe I can cry a tear.
Can you?
I don't know. Let me watch a sad gum commercial.
I don't know if I can feel sad while you're filming me.
Why are all these Oreos here?
It's dirt for my mouth.